Every textbook you have ever read got this wrong. Ancient humans were not primitive. Their languages were not simple grunts and gestures. In many cases, the languages spoken tens of thousands of years ago were more complex than anything you speak today. This is not a theory. This is linguistics. And as someone who spends their time analyzing patterns most people never look twice at, this is one of the most counterintuitive findings in the entire field. Start with Sanskrit, a language spoken in ancient India over 3,000 years ago. Sanskrit had 8 grammatical cases, 8 different ways to change a word depending on its role in a sentence. Old English had 5. Modern English has effectively 2. If complexity was supposed to increase over time, the math does not add up. Language did not evolve toward complexity. It evolved toward simplicity. The people you picture as cavemen were operating grammar systems that would break a modern linguistic student. This alone should change how you picture the so-called primitive past. Here is a secret that rarely makes it into documentaries. Linguists have found that isolated populations, ones cut off from large-scale contact with other groups, tend to preserve more grammatical complexity. Once a language spreads across large empires and gets learned by millions of adult second language speakers, it simplifies fast. Latin fractured into French, Spanish, and Italian, and each fracture shed grammatical weight. This means the empires that we credit with spreading civilization were, linguistically, flattening it. Now consider writing. Most people assume that when writing began, language began. This is false. Sumerian cuneiform appeared around 3200 BCE. It is the oldest confirmed writing system on Earth. But spoken language existed for at least 100,000 years before a single symbol was ever carved into clay. Writing is not the birth of language. Writing is a very late invention that arrived after language had already been fully formed, fully complex, and fully capable of poetry, law, and prayer. For roughly 98% of the time humans have been speaking, nothing was ever written down at all. Here is the part almost nobody talks about. Sanskrit, Latin, Greek, Persian, and English all share a common ancestor. Linguists call it Proto-Indo-European. This language was never written. No stone tablet contains it. No scroll preserves it. It exists only because researchers reverse engineered it by comparing patterns across dozens of descendant languages. It is a reconstructed ghost, a language spoken by real people thousands of years ago, rebuilt entirely through inference. Half the population of Earth today speaks something descended from a language that technically has no direct written record. Linguists have even reconstructed individual words from this ghost language, including their probable pronunciation, without a single surviving native speaker to confirm it. Then there is the oldest sound humans may have ever made. In southern Africa, the Khoisan peoples speak languages built around click consonants, sharp, percussive sounds made with the tongue instead of the throat. Genetic and linguistic evidence suggests these languages may represent one of the earliest branches of human speech. Some researchers argue clicks were part of humanity's original vocal toolkit before the sounds most languages use today ever existed. What makes this stranger is that click sounds are actually easier for the human vocal tract to isolate cleanly than many consonants used in modern languages, which raises the question of why most languages abandon them at all. There is one more secret hiding underneath all of this. Every language that exists today is, in a sense, a survivor. For every Sanskrit or Proto-Indo-European, thousands of ancient languages vanished completely, leaving zero trace, spoken by populations that were wiped out by disease, conquest, or simple absorption into larger groups. Linguists estimate that the languages we can study represent a small fraction of everything humans have ever spoken. Most of human linguistic history is permanently lost, and we will never know what it sounded like. Put these facts together and the picture that emerges is uncomfortable for anyone who grew up believing in the constant upward march of human progress. Ancient people were not building toward us. In grammar, many of them had already arrived somewhere more intricate than where we ended up. What survived into modern languages is not the most sophisticated system. It is the system that was easiest to pass on, easiest to simplify, and easiest to spread across an empire of strangers. The real secret is not that ancient humans were behind us. The secret is that in language, they were often ahead, and most of what they built has already disappeared without anyone noticing.